Hello everybody and welcome back to the Lee Westwood Sports Centre. It's game week 2 of the Slater and Gordon Premiership 2025 to 26 and we have a massive game between Aspire and Greenbank on the cards. It's a game that has massive repercussions right at the top of the table, showing you the full squads there for Aspire, and Greenbanks will come up quickly as well, but we'll go through the starting lineups when we can see them out on the court. The referee for this is Pete Taylor. It's a game that sees Aspire, who are currently top of the league, taking on Greenbank, who are in 5th, but just 5 points behind Aspire with a game in hand. So if they win this, well, who knows what could happen. So the starting lineups are as follows. It's Tom Kelly in goal for Aspire, John Bowling in the middle with Dan McClellan on one wing and John Dixon on the other. And for Greenbank, it's Jacob Buck-Platt in goal with Marcus Harrison, Torbjorn Krarup of Denmark and Luke Kelly on the wing. Both of these sides have already played today. Aspire getting a 1-0 win over Villa Rockets, whereas Greenbank fell to a 2-1 defeat to the current champions of England, Teesside. And we're underway here, so it's Aspire who kick off. Straight into the attack, Dan McClellan fires an early shot.
It's a great attack by Dan there, great shot.
I'm joined by this for Ricken Shaw. Ricken, what kind of game are you expecting here?
I think it's going to be a quite close game, to be honest. They're both, doing very well at the moment. The team for Greenbank is looking strong. I think at the start of the season, if you said to them you'll be title challengers, I don't know if they would have necessarily expected that, considering they've only been in the Premiership for one season. But they're doing very well.
Yeah, well, one man who probably would have seen that coming is the man that's just won a kick in for Greenbank, Marcus Harrison. Ever confident. Aspire having to move their substitutes because of positioning too close to the goal. So Greenbank get us back underway. Marcus Harrison.
I thought that went out there, Charlie.
Yeah, the official did for a moment too, but then he changed his signal as Greenbank making this game really compact in the centre. Luke Kelly battling with John Bowling. Luke Kelly, a vastly experienced player. He's won Premiership titles with West Bromwich Albion alongside Marcus Harrison. 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire on halfway. And on court B, there's another huge game. And it's been a good start for one of the sides as well. Leeds, who are 1-0 up against Teesside in no time at all. That's a huge game between the reigning champions and Leeds, who are one of the biggest newcomers to the party in terms of the title battle.
Many people thought that they were going to win the league this year, and as we say that, Teesside have just scored.
Yeah, so that is an absolute cracker as expected on court B. Here on court A, it's going to be expecting maybe less free scoring, but just as competitive and just as meaningful to the league standings as John Bowling with the kick in. Plays in towards John Dixon, tries to play in, it's blocked by Torbjorn Krarup. Good challenge from Bowling on Krarup, two players who played against each other at the Euros in Italy in September. Obviously Torbjorn Krarup playing for Denmark. They didn't have the tournament they were hoping for, but they managed to sneak in through the playoffs to qualify for the World Cup in Argentina next year, beating Northern Ireland in the final of that. Here's Dan McClellan. into John Boulding, who fires off a shot. Boulding now plays in towards Dan McClellan. Marcus Harrison up against him, but a 2-on-1 in favour of Greenbank. Dan McClellan and Marcus Harrison are judged to have been too close. Pete Taylor, the centre referee, is an extremely experienced official. In fact, we've got several experienced officials on this one. Steve Crump on the one line, who's regarded as one of the top referees in the world, and then Pete Westmoreland, who is refereed a lot of national games on the other. Is Dan McClellan now in behind, front bumper from John Dixon. McClellan would have rather got that ball towards goal. Dixon back in towards Boulding. Out towards Dan McClellan. It's up against Marcus Harrison now. McClellan gets the flick. Boulding fires a shot off, just wide of the mark, but Spire moving it nicely in the early stages, sort of following the pattern you'd expect.
Yeah, it was a nice little play there by Aspire. John Boulding and Dan McClellan combining beautifully.
Jacob Buck-Platt. Torbjorn Quarrett. Here's John Boulding. 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire. Quarrett and Luke Kelly too close. Boulding. McClellan. Boulding again. Strikes across to Dan McClellan. Quarrett blocks his pass. Aspire have a kick in deep. McClellan, Dixon, picked off by Quarrett in towards Jacob Buck-Platt, who rather sensibly does not try and smack the ball up with the pressure of Dixon, so goes out to battle, but well done by John Dixon to take the ball to the corner and plays it back to Boulding. Dixon, Boulding, John Dixon plays across, Dan McClellan back into John Dixon. Aspire moving it nicely. McClellan fires a shot from the edge of the area, blocked by Marcus Harrison. Now inside the penalty area, Aspire. But it gets clear. Luke Kelly dispossessed by the England captain, John Boulding, up against Jacob Buck-Platt.
There's a great bit of play from Aspire there. The three of them combining really well, generating a lot of power.
Yeah, just couldn't quite get that clear-cut opening. But an early warning sign for Greenbank that Aspire are not messing around here, and John Boulding does well to manoeuvre himself around Jacob Buck-Platt and win a corner. Corner going to be taken by John Dixon. Dan McClellan lurking at the back post. Boulding plays in 1-2 with John Dixon. Drives up against Marcus Harrison. John Dixon, who is usually supported by a huge family presence, nan and granddad, renowned in Aspire, just known as the team's grandparents, but they're not here this weekend. But a big shout out to them. I'm sure they'll be watching at home. And they're very sorely missed by everyone associated with Aspire this weekend, as it's going to be a kick for Greenbank. 2-on-1. Dan McClellan flicks it off Marcus Harrison. Boulding and Harrison battling. Boulding rides up slightly in his chair. Wins a kick in, so Aspire just really putting the pressure on Greenbank.
You can see Greenbank have been working on the training field with that defensive play.
Boulding shut down immediately by Harrison. Just going to roll out for a goal kick, but a good bit of pressure from Marcus Harrison.
Done well there, Marcus.
Boulding, great bit of skill to get it to John Dixon, who's going to try and take on Marcus Harrison. Doesn't win the battle. Just good strength from the Greenbank number 24. Greenbank committing a lot of bodies forward. But Platt in towards Crarup, cushioned off the side of Dan McClellan's chair. Another kick in for Greenbank in a similar area will follow.
Greenbank have settled quite well, I would have thought, in this game.
Yeah, they've slowly grown into it. McClellan in towards Boulding to Dixon. Dan McClellan fires the ball into the side of Torbjorn Crarup's chair. Back into Boulding, finds Dixon picked off importantly by Jacob Buck-Platt. Kick in for Greenbank. Spire just really trying their best to get the ball moving, but Greenbank restricting a lot of that space. Marcus Harrison is going to try and dribble this. Almost the length of the court, up against Dan McClellan. Flicks it across, kick in for Aspire, well dealt with by Aspire's number 7.
He was expecting someone to be there, Marcus.
Yeah, there really should have been. There was no reason for that Greenbank to leave that entire side of the court unoccupied. Two on one against Aspire. Silly one to give away. Crarup's going to commentate this. Dan McClellan dispossesses Torbjorn Crarup. Now they've got a bit of an advantage. Dan McClellan tries to dummy it around Jacob Buck-Platt. I can see what he's trying to do, but had plenty of teammates waiting for a flick. Greenbank kicking. McClellan and Harrison fighting for the line. Harrison gives that battle up. But has the ball now. Up against John Boulding.
He knows the game very well, doesn't he, Marcus? How to win those little battles.
Yeah, this is his sort of niche subject. That makes sense. He loves these kind of games. 2 on 1 against Aspire. Greenbank just putting themselves in positions that make it difficult for Aspire to defend without giving away 2 on 1s, putting a lot of players in similar areas.
Chance here.
There is indeed. Buck-Platt tries to play into the full spin of Marcus Harrison. Unsuccessful, goes out for a goal kick. So Aspire doing all they can. But Greenbank currently on top, and that's a silly goal to concede, a defensive error, a goal from Torbjorn Crarup, and that was really messy at the back from Aspire, Rickenshaw.
Yeah, it was so unexpected. I don't think even Aspire expected that to go in. But great goal by Crarup. I think, yeah, Greenbank are definitely going to be happy with that.
Yeah, that was such a poor moment at the back for Aspire. Needs to try and respond. John Dixon, Dan McClellan. Boulding, who messes up his pass. Cut out again by Crarup, who plays such an understated role within this Greenbank side. But it's so important to the way they play, and in fact, Greenbank conceded to Teesside earlier when they were without Torbjorn Krarup. He was having some issues with either his chair or his controller, or there was something going on that meant he had to be removed from the game for a few minutes, and well, Teesside really capitalised on that. Marcus Harrison battling with John Boulding. Boulding.
The noise in the arena is definitely picked up.
Yeah, you can feel the intensity of the game. Kick in for Aspire. Greenbank wanted a contact foul. McClellan. But Platt. Harrison immediately under pressure, as you'd expect by John Boulding. Greenbank ball given. Oh, it's a tense game here. Referee having to deal with some issues with off-the-ball contact. The issue is it's when a side is setting up for kick-ins or corners, they really want to get that defensive position solidified. Marcus Harrison and Dan McClellan fighting for that line every time.
Marcus definitely knows what he's doing there.
Such a strong dribble between these two. Marcus Harrison, who will, you'd expect, just try and lock this game up entirely. Kick in for Greenbank. Pete Taylor's going to have a word with the two main characters of this game so far, Marcus Harrison and John Boulding.
This is what we live for, Charlie, isn't it? These
This is
types
exactly
of
what
battles.
we live for. It's two big personalities who know each other super well, but who are pulling no punches here. Boulding flicks into Dan McClellan, picks off back to John Boulding. Dixon gets the pick off. Marcus Harrison has to defend. Marcus Harrison. Contact against Marcus Harrison. Marcus Harrison too, which will mean that he's walking a bit of a tightrope for the rest of this game.
Yeah, he's claiming that's his first time.
Yeah, I think it was like the foul, but also the reaction to the foul as well. It looked like he maybe said something to Pete Taylor. Obviously, we can't know that. Greenbank coming forward. It's 2-on-1 against Krarup and Harrison. Lots of moaning at Pete Taylor, who's going to have to be a real strong character in the middle there to referee this one. I suspect that's only going to get worse now Marcus Harrison is on a yellow card. All of his actions are going to be extra scrutinised. 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire.
It's been a good first half, Charlie.
It's been good, it's been entertaining, been tense. the goal that Aspire conceded was incredibly sloppy from them. Greenbank really got gifted that, but other than that, there's been really nothing to separate the two sides. Kick in for Aspire. So 1 minute remains of this first half. A half that has been dominated by dribbling, been cagey. Harrison. It's going to be a booking now for John Boulding. So both central players have been booked now, which does not bode well for the second half, in which those two central players are going to be dribbling up against each other and, well, you think trying to get each other penalised for contact at any opportunity, reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. They know what the result means for both teams. You know, Greenbank losing earlier this morning. If they can get a result today, it puts them firmly back in that title race.
Yeah, it just opens it up all again, because obviously Greenbank beat Leeds, Teesside beat Greenbank, Leeds and Teesside are now drawing, Aspire beat Teesside, like everyone's beating everyone, which is, I guess, what you want to see in a quality title race, as McClellan gets the pick off. It's going to be a contact foul right on the edge of the box. So this is a chance for Aspire, big chance too, to equalise. They're going to need to use this. This will be a perfect time to score, go into half-time level.
Yeah, surely it's got to be the final attack of the half.
Dan McClellan flicks it, doesn't quite get the direction he was looking for, and that's half-time. So a cagey affair. Aspire's defensive mistake gifted Greenbank the opening goal, though. So it remains Aspire 0, Greenbank 1. Both central players on a booking, so we'll see how that plays out in the second half. Rickon and I will be back to cover all the action shortly. Well, we're back for the second half. A long half-time team talk for each side. Sure, plenty of tactical discussion. Aspire trying to find a way to get back into this game. Greenbank looking to hold on to their slender one-goal advantage, although when you've got Marcus Harrison on your court, having a lead is like gold because he's so good at managing games, and that's what he's going to try and do here, you'd think. But on a yellow card, likewise, is the Aspire captain John Boulding, so both will be, well, trying to agitate the other into getting a booking whilst walking that tightrope themselves as we're underway here for the second half. Jacob Platt kicks us off for Greenbank. Aspire attacking towards you on your screen. No changes for either side at the break as expected, with a game as finely balanced as that one was. Ricken, what were your assessments of that first half?
Yeah, it was a good first half for both teams, I thought. It's very 50-50. You know, Greenbank got lucky with the break, and they managed to capitalise off of that. Aspire would have gone in at half-time, you know, angry with themselves for conceding, I would say, a sloppy goal.
Yeah, it was a very sloppy one. McLennan and Harrison battling. Boulding. McClellan tries to play back into Boulding. Quarup is out there to meet John Boulding with a challenge. McClellan flicks off Marcus Harrison, but the ball sticks with the Greenbank man. He then gets a strike away in towards John Boulding. Harrison immediately on him, like a rash to John Boulding, all over him, and Boulding does well to eventually get the flick.
That battle is just amazing between them two, isn't it?
Yeah, it's such an entertaining one. John Boulding into Dixon, who tries to dummy it through, battling with Torbjorn Quarup. Quarup, the goal scorer for Greenbank in this game. Tom Kelly just up against Quarup. Need to be careful here, Aspire, so as not to force the issue and potentially foul the Dane. Quarup does well to flick it and wins a kick in. Quarup. Harrison.
This is exactly where Marcus's strengths come.
Yeah, I'm going to give a warning to our viewers now that while this is an entertaining game and it's very matched, this half may look a lot like this for a lot of it. Aspire need to just desperately try to get it out of contact. This dribbling suits Greenbank so well. Harrison. Marcus Harrison just managing this game. There's not a huge amount you can really say about when it's about the game when it's like this, Ricken.
Yeah, I've just been watching the clock. He's been there for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, if anybody watched Greenbank's game against Middlesbrough yesterday, it was incredibly similar to this. You just, a lot of the time when it's like this, you just can't get the ball off Marcus Harrison.
He knows how to beat a spy. Done that in the 2024 FA Disability Cup final.
Yeah, scored a dribble goal against Dan McCullen and John Boulding, who were in the double pivot at the time. Such a frustrating game for Aspire. Aspire really going forward now with John Boulding up against Jacob Platt, Marcus Harrison in there trying to shield the ball. But Platt and Harrison playing together. It's now with John Dixon. Marcus Harrison comes away with the ball. Kick in for Greenbank.
Birch, Platt and Harrison combining quite well as a defensive pair.
Yeah, they had to there. Boulding, Dixon. Strikes towards goal. Needs to get the ball and get his chair wrapped around Boulding. Now plays towards the back post. You needed more power on that to beat that defensive wall and find Dan McClellan. Harrison now back exactly where he wants it. Tries to flick. Spire slowly showing signs of resurgence in this game. Boulding battling well. Dixon. McClellan fires a shot at the near post. Wins a corner. Noise from the Aspire support who cheering their side on. It's a corner, so Greenbank need to alter their defensive setup. Marcus Harrison viewed as encroaching. Sorry if you just heard some audio issues, I don't know whether that was just me. But Aspire now have a free kick in a very dangerous area. Because of encroachment. Well, this is... What can Aspire do with this then?
They're looking for the back post there.
Dixon in towards Boulding. Two on one against Aspire. So Greenbank weather that storm. McClellan flicks back to Boulding. Blocked by Harrison on the first attempt. McClellan and Crowell.
There's that battle again between Harrison and Boulding.
Boulding gets the better of it on that occasion. Looks for the flick. In towards John Dixon. Flicks back towards Boulding again. And it goes out. So, we're already halfway through this half and it feels like we've hardly played any time at all. have to say, Marcus Harrison may have needed that lengthy readjustment, or this could be pure time management from Greenbank. Either way, you'd hope that the referee has seen this and is adding time at the end of the game accordingly. Don't want to be robbed of any Powerchair football. Kick in for Greenbank. But Platt. Harrison. Boulding. Harrison and Boulding do well. McLennan and Boulding combine well, sorry. Comes back towards Luke Kelly, who wins a kick in. Still 1-1 on court B2 between Leeds and Teesside. After a crazy first 5 minutes in that game, things seem to have settled down slightly. Here's Marcus Harrison. Goal kick for Aspire. Just over 8 minutes remain.
I think Greenbank will be very happy with the way that they played so far.
Yeah, they've managed this game perfectly. Kick in for Greenbank again on the left-hand side. Boulding. McLellan. Boulding. Doesn't get the contact he wanted on it. But Pat. Harrison. Boulding. Boulding gets the ball through towards John Dixon. Wins the corner. It's the best opportunity Aspire have had for some time in this game.
I thought there was a 2-on-1 in the box there.
Dixon. Boulding tries to dummy it to the back post. Marcus Harrison comes away with the ball. Now up against Tom Kelly, one-on-one. Tries to take it around Kelly. Does well to just stop the advancement of Marcus Harrison. Dan McClellan now tries to get it out of contact. Now Luke Kelly with the strike. It's all going on up the other end. Marcus Harrison.
If we can score here, I think it's game over.
Dan McClellan and Tom Kelly just trying to stand firm as this wall. Harrison just holding them on their own goal line. Dan McClellan comes away with the ball. Flicks towards Boulding. McClellan Blocked by Harrison. John Dixon. 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire on just inside the Greenbank half. So Aspire with another chance to put some pressure on that Greenbank goal. McClellan. Dixon. Ball across. Blocked by Harrison. Boulding. Dixon. Ball across. Blocked by Buckplatt again. He's been very solid in the Greenbank goal. Kick in for Aspire. Taken quickly in towards Dan McClellan, who reverses with it down the line. Plays across. Blocked by Quarup. Dan McClellan again with the front bumper. Aspire really putting it on Greenbank now in these last 5 minutes. Torbjorn Quarup. Locked in the contact with Boulding. Wins the kick in, does the Aspire captain. Plays it off Quarup for a corner. So 4 minutes remain. Dixon. McClellan gets the front bumper on it and scores! And Aspire a level late on in the game. Dan McClellan front bumper from the set piece. They've finally broken the Greenbank defence. Dan McClellan, how many big goals is he going to score for Aspire this season? He scored the winner against Newcastle yesterday, the winner against Villa Rockets here, and then a crucial late equaliser against Greenbank there. Ricken, what a well-worked set piece from Aspire.
Yeah, they changed the positions between John and Dan. So John went onto the back post. Now Aspire it to be on the attack. They want the winner now.
Yeah, some real buoyancy. Greenbank look a little bit rattled by that late sucker punch from Aspire. You can hear the crowd going absolutely mental, driving Aspire forward. Here's John Boulding. Boulding. Now the ball gets through. Quarup has to recover. Boulding now. Called into action defensively. Here's Harrison. He's going to drive it. Some real atmosphere building here on Court A. This is exactly what you expect from a game that could have massive repercussions in the title. Corner kick for Greenbank. Late on, 2 minutes remain. Well, we may see some additional time due to some, should we call it time management from Greenbank earlier on in the half. So can they use a set piece in the same way that Aspire did? It's already scored one late winner in a massive game this season against Leeds. Could this be the second? Torbjorn Quarup takes it into the front bumper of Harrison. Boulding just allows himself to be engaged by Quarup. 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire. Boulding tells John Dixon to get inside. Quarup for the pick-off. Now McClellan, now it's John Boulding on the counter-attack. John Dixon, sorry, fires against the chair of Marcus Harrison. Dixon and Harrison battling away in there. 2-on-1. So we're into the final minute. Ricken, I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to ask you for the player of the match until the full-time whistle goes, because it feels like there could be anything could happen in this game that would change your answer to that question.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Charlie.
So I'll give you some time to think. Meanwhile, Aspire have got the ball with John Dixon. Contact, or 2-on-1, sorry, in favour of Aspire. Who you have to say, since their equaliser, have been the dominant force. Dixon lets it through. 3 in the box called in favour of Aspire, so a late chance. If Aspire could slot this away. Well, I think the roof would just about blow off Court A here.
This is a massive chance, Charlie.
Really big. Marcus Harrison is going to have to go and get readjusted.
He knows every trick in the book, doesn't he, Charlie?
Well, the thing is, I don't know what, like, whether, no matter how much time he spends over in that corner, this free kick is going to be taken and Aspire are going to have this big chance.
He's trying to put the nerves on them now.
Well, it's a nervy situation for Greenbank too. Boulding gets a chance. 2-on-1 given against Aspire. You see what they're trying to do, trying to mix it up a little bit. So, we said there was 2 big games in the title race on either court. Well, both currently 1-1, and if it ends like this, things will be as you were in the race for the 2025-26 Slater and Gordon Premiership, which you'd have to say, if you'd said that before the game, favours Aspire maybe, more than anything. Free kick for Greenbank, I think. Deep in their half. So, just to reflect on the game, Greenbank went ahead early through a mistake that Aspire made at the back. They were trying to manage the game. Marcus Harrison was using all the tricks in the book to try and see out that result. Here's John Boulding. John Boulding into John Dixon. Fires the ball across in towards the back post. Just too long for Dan McClellan. As I was saying, Aspire managed to muscle their way back into the game though and got an equaliser. I'll show you the top 6 now, the way it looks with these current results. Aspire are top with 23, 4 points clear, which they'll take, would solidify their spot as top of the league at Christmas. And there we are, that's full time. So it ends Aspire 1, Greenbank 1. And I will now finally ask you for your player of the match, Ricken.
It's a tough one because Dan got the equaliser for Greenbank, for Aspire. But I think the person that controlled that game was Marcus, you know, from start to finish. I think without him on that Greenbank team, the scoreline would have been totally different. So I'm going to have to give it to him.
Good decision. Thank you for joining me, Ricken.
Thank you, Charlie.
It's a long Sunday, so we're back with more games shortly. Don't go anywhere.
See you soon.